Hey there, Marshall from Plausibly Anything, and I just got done uh, watching Andor, the show on Disney Plus, and I've always been drawn to Star Wars because of this idea of good versus evil, and this idea of the Force, and Andor, the show. I gave it two thumbs up. I thought it was an awesome show. It starts off slow in season one. If you can get through season one, season two, towards the end of season two, absolutely amazing. And then it goes into Rogue One. Is the whole is basically at the end, which is a movie that actually came out in 2016. And so, once again, Star Wars does a little prequel type thing with the two seasons. But more importantly, uh, there's all these different ideas that I think about when I watch this show. I think about the Force. I think how it applies to uh, the world. And to me, if you're executing and looking into the Force, it's like an inward looking. The Force is inside of you, and if you engage in the Force, amazing things can come out of you. And so, if you have the gratitude, if you are try if you use your dharma, you're basically your mission, and you're on your role in the universe. If you're just accepting that role, it's not something that needs to be significant. um, I see that being like one of the favorite parts of the Andor is this idea that Andor is just like a small piece in the Star Wars universe, a small pivotal piece, and what he does and his mission is overlooked basically amongst the heroes, the Jedi's, the people that actually the Jedi's to me I see in the world are people that have pursued the inwardness and the ability to to flow and charismatic. These people that become stars, maybe like Robin Williams, for example, a guy that really, to me, channeled some force inside of him to be able to do what he can do in the moment. Always, um, always a guy that was so genuine and authentic. I think the force is also something. It's staying true to yourself, true to being good, um, not being affected by the subconscious. Um, and also, I believe that George Lucas was actually inspired a lot by the Bible, um, and the good versus evil there, the ability to own your subconscious, and so it's just such a powerful show, and to me also, a lot of people don't really like Star Wars because I don't think that it resonates with them because they don't have maybe that internal battle. They don't see the internal battle to be good. I think a lot of people actually have been, in a way, shamed and molded into a way where they have to just mirror other people and really actually hunt for um, significance, basically, monetary value in the world. That's not something that you see in the in the good side of the Force in Star Wars. Nobody's doing something for money, really. Um, Maybe the Mandalorian does for credits. I mean, he was a bounty hunter, but I think he he also changed. A lot of times you see even characters change towards the good side. Become part of the good side of the Force, and that is not trying to kill people, not trying to seek revenge. Like Darth Vader's always kind of has always been on this revenge trip. I think he felt like he was done wrong by the universe. He didn't accept his fate, the things that happened, the order. He didn't. He couldn't handle it. He didn't have enough gratitude, and it ended up turning him into somewhat of a monster. So obviously, I don't want anyone to go down that path, and that's part of what this video is about. It also is not to go into the bad areas of the Force where you're trying to basically pull energy from people. Very transactional person seeking to get what they can out of each person, and oftentimes someone that even sees somebody that actually is flowing and enjoying themselves and almost kind of tries to consume their energy. And to me, this is This is very much the force, whether you're on the good side or the bad side, or if you're able to just focus on striving to improve yourself, striving to collaborate with people versus trying to constrict, control, and really just affect other people. It's like some people realize that they can't enter into the force in the good side, and so what they do is they see their only opportunity as trying to bring you down a peg, or trying to see if they can get you to mirror them. So they want to get you. They want to show you how you're an individual and how everyone else is acting a certain way. So he's like, as part of groupthink, this person is like, you shouldn't be acting so charismatic because you're balding or something like that. How can you do these things? You don't have money. How can you? So it's like these constricting things that they're happening in their own psyche, their own unwillingness to be able to get connected and seek that inward value to be able to give to others, because there's so much value that is like transcendent beyond the just materialism, and there's this spiritual value, this connection, this authenticity, this detachment from the ego, all these past events that you've had, and not worrying about how the things that you're trying to do you haven't done yet. They don't align with the past events in your life, so you fear the fact that you're getting beyond your safety net of what you're capable of. Everyone sort of, not everyone, but a lot of people are just kind of acting in this sort of putting up a front so that they can protect themselves from who they actually are, and the fact that if somebody didn't accept who they actually were being, they would be, traumatized. But really, whenever you get into that sort of area, when you act from your innermost beautiful self, people really appreciate oftentimes. And then also oftentimes you get people that just cannot handle it because they're so used to fakeness, and that's what they see. That's what they want to consume more fakeness. They want to mirror fakeness. They want to stay in the negative channel that is detached from the force. It's a mother effing force. Dude, that's what it gets me giddy. It's like Rogue One. It's just like, I want to go out there and I want to just bring people to the force. I want to help them get into the moment. I want to do comedy and help bring them out of this, this seriousness, this significance, this importance, and bring them into a world of self-deprecation and humor and just being able to say silly things. And further, like, recently I've over the last year, I've wrote lyrics and stuff like that. I've been doing creative stuff. I've even wrote down jokes, comedy jokes, and so what happened is, like, I also want to explore the freestyling thing. I love the freestyling thing. It's so silly, it's stupid, it's whatever's on your mind. You just spit it out. That is the force. It's the mother effing force. It's this ability to channel. It's almost magical. It's even surprising too. If you're so authentic that you just kind of spit out this stuff and surprise people, oftentimes they can't handle it. Oftentimes they're drawn to it. Oftentimes they can just kind of sense it. Okay, this guy, he just has a smirk on his face, like he knows that he's about to have the night of his life. This guy has this guy just kind of knows behind his eyes that he just takes the world by the, I don't know he just takes the moment by whatever point in time it is. He just goes for it. And so it is important to just get into this area so you can resonate with it more and more. This I went from a dark period where I wasn't able to even resonate with this. I wasn't able to free flow. I sort of brought myself out of this funk, and all of a sudden I got addicted to the good side of the force. That's a beautiful addiction. It's so great. It's so powerful. No drugs in my life. Eating well, exercising, channeling this stuff, channeling the chakras. We talked about that in the Mentoring 365. Understanding the different areas of your spirituality that you can harness. You know, it may not be in the, you can look at the Shaolin chakra and you can pick it apart and be like, well, this doesn't make logical sense. But whenever you look at all these different areas and you sort of bring them together in your expression, feeling like more connected to the universe and earth, appreciating it and grounding yourself to the earth, and you explore these things all together, the exercising being, accepting your physical body, accepting your role in the universe, detaching from the ego, all this stuff, you bring it together, and it doesn't matter what area of the chakra it is or if it makes sense or not, inevitably you start appreciating your life more. You start entering this different area of vibration, and that is key. That is key, guys. So there's some different things that I still didn't even cover in this video that I'd like to, but I feel like I'm running out of areas to sort of touch on, because I think we've covered most of it. Most of the ways you could sort of channel yourself to really just bring yourself out of whatever possibly low area vibrations into something better. And honestly, most people will probably just move on and not even listen to how, this conversation that I'm having with you guys, because they just don't resonate with it. It's a different vibrational level. And even though there's so many people that I love Christianity, I love what they're trying to do with, I love that religion. I love most religions, as long as your religion doesn't lead you into trying to hurt other people, then I cannot resonate with that. And so, but also, you'll notice if you go to church that there's a lot of people that are very disconnected from their actual spirituality, their physical spirituality, even their ability to express and communicate and give off the bright vibrations of like an abundant, full, charismatic person. Oftentimes those people will actually be shaming people for even talking to another woman or something like that. I used to go out to the bars, I used to talk to women, and there's a certain people that think that because I was talking to a woman and flirting with a woman, it was basically like having sex with them. So if you get so into this idea that, certain things are bad and you must shame and do these things, you must control, I can't resonate with this side of the religion. But, and I don't even always see that sort of same meaning in the religion. It's just this expansion beyond what I think actually even happened, what is even said in the Bible, and what the way that Jesus communicated to me was that he was an individual, and such a powerful individual, someone that was tempted by the devil on a mountaintop and was did not accept him and did not take a leap. I believe that's what happens. I don't know all of the the story behind Jesus, but I'm pretty sure that actually is part of the story. And he was always there was nobody like Jesus. He was teaching the right way to the force as an individual. And now what we have now is a groupthink where it is actually very detached from the individual. It is very, very, very much no need for being different. It's very much like putting down people that are different. It's very much control instead of release. It's very much a neediness to even affect people at times. a neediness to be a part of some sort of movement that may not even be good. It may actually be something that is, maybe you've been, maybe someone's been brainwashed by it. Some of these movements, some of these ideas are almost, maybe consider even neo-Nazis, the way that they've sort of gotten into a movement where they seek to be aggressive. Cults, certain things like this where people are expanding beyond the religion in a very downward negative way, in a very deep dark way at times. This happens in the world, and a lot of it is because these people can't have the gratitude. They don't see the force. They don't see the potential of what the moment can bring them. They are very much at an effect of their reality, and they want to sort of, and they see a person that is one with the force, and they want to try to pull them out, like Darth Vader. They're like, get out of the moment, get out. You must react to me. I have to be significant. I have to feel important. I need this. When you see somebody like that, before I used to think that's normal. Now I see somebody like that and I'm like, holy shit, this guy is literally harnessing dark energy like nothing I've seen before. So it's like, it's really wild, and this is becoming more normal and normal. That's how, whenever you grew up in school, that's how people acted. Actually, they didn't act out of what was right. They acted out of what everyone else is showing them to do, what makes them feel comfortable. And oftentimes feeling comfortable is like effing with people for some people. Like really deep down, that's what was comfortable. And unfortunately, there's been times in my life where I've told jokes that were not that were not right, really. I've told jokes to people. I made fun of people's weight, and even though I was trying to elicit laughter in a group, it was not done the right way. It wasn't done out of a way of appreciation, and so oftentimes we'll have to just look at ourselves and reflect, and really understand what's reality from fiction. Fear, the things that we should actually be fearful of, things that we should have anxiety for, and things that we shouldn't, and really expand and be immersed in this universe, and look up at those stars, and don't be worried because you feel small. Understand you have a role, and then as you see around you so many new things, so much new knowledge, you eat the fruit from the tree that is charged by the earth and has a magnetic field in it, and it actually has structural filtered water in it, and natural sugars, and you eat that apple, that blessing of God, really, and appreciate that. And that is an appreciation for your maker. And understand that if you can take a moment and do stuff like that, I don't think you have to be in church. If you think that way, and you do if you appreciate the physical world, if you give to others, if you do this stuff in a responsible manner, then you don't need as much church. And oftentimes, if you're going out and preaching and expressing yourself in the right manner, you are the preacher. You are transcending that individual, the groupthink, and you're becoming the individual. Oftentimes, these priests I think of as being the most powerful people in the church, because they're the ones that are speaking and expressing, and they're the ones that are the most in touch with the force. Hopefully, there's some weird stuff going on in some churches, but you just never know. I mean, you just do what you can as you grow. Try to find the force, because it's in you. Find a way to manifest it. And if you're dealing with dark thoughts, dark anxiety, make fun of the dark anxiety, because it doesn't need to control you. It doesn't need to make sense. Understand it in a way. But if it doesn't make sense and it's not real, make fun of it. Make up a silly song about it. Maybe you should freestyle about it. Find a way to be able to change something that is perceived negative and reroute it. And oftentimes when you do that, what you're doing is changing the way that your brain's frequency is on. It goes from an area of darkness, low energy, to an area of creativity, enjoyment, self-amusement, and then all of a sudden those thoughts that you were almost controlling you, that you understood and let go, are no longer there, and they no longer are affecting you. And that is a powerfulness of the Force, baby. May the Force be with you guys. I'm out, and I will see you guys next time. I'm Marshall, like I said, from Plausibly Anything. We have a playlist of videos that this is going to be included in that you might want to check out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon.